Now, welcome back to another great episode of Barrio Voices, where we highlight the voices of our barrios, familias, and communities. Now, today our special guest is Victoria Partida, who is a strong advocate out here in our East San Jose community. And one of the things I really appreciate about her work is that, she kind of is like a bridge for our community, ¿verdad? Our various voices to the city council members también, And she's the president, actually, of the Neighborhood Housing Association of our community también. So you could tell that she's, taking care of our gente, and she's also ensuring that gente is being heard by, our local representatives, our local politicians, y pues la gente que, are there to, make decisions for our community, ¿verdad? I did want to quickly preface the interview real quick. She is to be talking about an organization called Luna, who is, really dedicated to building community power and organizing within the East Side community as well. And she's referring to a park during the interview that's going to be built this year, and that has been a project that Luna has been advocating for quite a while now, for a couple of years now, and it's coming to be this year. So you'll be hearing more about that in the times to come. For now, we just go ahead and give the mic to Victoria, and for her to continue to empower and enlighten our community out there. Eh? So DJ Velas, go ahead and hit the roll.
Hi everyone, my name is Victoria Partida. I live here in East San Jose, and welcome to my neighborhood. I moved when my baby was 6 months old, and he is now 6.5. So actually, I didn't really have a say where I got to move. I just had Alex, my son, and Adrian was doing a lot of the house hunting. So I actually didn't really get to pick. I didn't even see the house until after we bought it. So Adrian picked the place. We had a really hard time buying because we would get outbidded. But this one was the one that we were able to get, and that's how we moved here. Initially, we didn't know anybody here. So we, with Luna, some of the Luna people, they came knocking to our doors, and they said that there was a park being built, which is going to be hopefully here at some point at the end of the year. And they asked me and my partner if we wanted to get involved, and we were like, yeah, for sure, we want a park. Not having a park was something that I really noticed when we moved in. My parents didn't have a car when we were growing up, so we would always be able to go to various parks that were within walking distance. And here, I would have to drive to the park to take Alex. So that to me was really strange. It's still strange to me that we have to drive to parks. So when the Luna people came and they're like, oh, we're gonna build this park, I was like, oh yeah, for sure. That's really good for my son and for me. And I bring this up because I think for me, growing up, one of the earliest memories for me is my dad taking us to the park. So I want to make sure that I'm able to provide that for my son, in an area where it's close to us and it's not a hassle to take them somewhere. Another thing that when my family moved in to the neighborhood, there was a lot of illegal dumping, a lot of litter. And that's how we actually started getting the neighbors to participate, because a lot of the neighbors were also concerned about the litter and the illegal dumping. So we started organizing cleanups, really started working with the council member to bring those resources that the community needed. So we started out with that, and then slowly we ended up moving to other priorities, like the mural and the park. And I think just attitudes have changed in the community as well. Before it was a lot of, oh, well, it's always like that, like nothing's gonna change. And I think now as I'm talking to some of my neighbors, they'll be like, oh, Victoria, like, can you give me the phone number of whoever I need to call to come and pick up my couch because I don't want it anymore. Or I saw somebody throwing some garbage, like, what can we do so that it doesn't happen again? So I think the attitude definitely has changed. It's slowly changing, but it has changed. So that's something that I think that I can say that I've been seeing so far. I don't think I've done this by myself. I think the even if it's just one neighbor, like I remember the first neighborhood association meeting we had, there was only me and two other residents, and then everybody else is from the city. So I think I've always had somebody with me, and then I think as slowly as we start learning, because everything's a learning process, there's more and more people that are willing to help. But I don't think I've done it by myself ever. I think there's always been somebody with me. The Luna organization, I think they're the ones that, let me know that this space was going to be something. And, that space was something that I wanted for the community too. And then some of the older folks that had been in the previous neighborhood associations, like Alfonso and Amalia, Gloria. I think they've been very instrumental into how now the neighborhood association is going. And then of course, the council members office, they've been very supportive into really anything that we want to, anything that we want to do in the neighborhood. I think both council members that I've worked with, the staffers have been really great, and they've been really guiding me so that we can actually do something in the community. Yeah, so I think my role within this community is really being, I think, the connector to the community for city departments. I think what I've noticed from my work here is that sometimes that connection is not always there, and I've been able to connect them, because I feel like I haven't done a whole lot, but it's just been really that connection that I feel sometimes it's missing. And I think when I got here, there wasn't anything, but there was people that wanted to get involved. They just didn't know how. So I think I've been bringing them along and just showing them different ways that they can get involved. And then I've also, I think, done a really good job in showing city council, like, hey, like, this community does want to be involved. They just don't know how. Like, they don't have the tools to be involved. So I think, like, if you're someone in your community who wants to see change, I think, like, just do it. That's what I did. Of course I had help, like I said, but if you want to do something, just do it. Call me. Call me if you don't know how to start something. Don't be afraid. I think there's a lot of organizations like Luna. There's a lot of city help. We just have to go out there and let them know that we're interested in making our community better. Thank you for having me, and if you need any help, I'm more than happy to help you in starting whatever you want to start in your community.
So again, thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Barrio Voices. I just want to, give you a quick update of, where I'm at in terms of like Barrio Voices and committing to a certain level, ¿verdad? So at the moment, I am managing 2 jobs, ¿verdad? And I'm trying to continue doing this for my community, ¿verdad? Continue to uplift our Barrio's voices. And so, I'm committing to, uploading an episode, once a month for now, ¿verdad? I will be throwing in some bonuses every now and then just to continue to enlighten our community. This is something that I'm doing personally for, the passion that I have for living for my community, but also to keep myself accountable to, meet new folks, to continue to expand my knowledge and continue to learn from others, ¿verdad? About the work that they're doing within the community and how I could also apply some of that to the work that I'm doing in my own organizing, ¿verdad? But ultimately, like I said, this is a place for our barrio's voices to be heard, to continue to empower others to also take action and create some change within the community, and for yourselves to continue to feel fueled. As a lot of times we burn out with the work that we're doing as either organizers or as whatever profession we have. We're always creating some kind of change. And so, as always, I just want to say again, thank y'all. I know, tuning into this episode means that y'all are, your hearts are in the right place. So I just want to say, props to you all, ¿verdad? Much respect. But ultimately, again, Thank you all for tuning in to Barrio Voices, where we highlight the voices of our barrios, familias, and communities. This is Velas, and to you all, much love. Cuídense. Órale.